Mother Sentient Beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those create obstacles to my path to liberation and damnations, may they experience happiness, be separate from suffering disably. I will establish them in the still one surpass perfect, complete the precious Buddhahood. O Mother Sentient Beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those create obstacles to my path to liberation and damnation, may they experience happiness, be separate from suffering disably. I will establish them in the still one surpass perfect, complete the precious Buddhahood. Dala Damvara Sepe Dra, no para Sepe Gay. Tarpa dang dam je jemba la barde jubara seba dam je zora sebe manam ka dang nyambe sem je dam je dewa dang de dongara dang dara nyorde lana me ba yang da bara zobe san jo rumbo je do bara sa. Dasandra achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. We take refuge in the Kandaru Lama and the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deity of the mandalas of Yadam. We take refuge in the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and the Dhamma gardens, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Until I attain heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma, likewise in the example of a Bodhisattvas. As previous Buddhas ambassador enlightenment and the progress on the Bodhisattva's path are true for the benefit of all sentient beings, giving birth to Bodhicitta, and apply myself to complete the stage of the path. In the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering, the causes of suffering. May they never be separate from the sacred happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Skip the 7 lamp prayer. Mandala offering is the ground is sprinkling with the scented water and the stir with the flowers. It is adorned with the Meru, the spring mountain, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. As Buddha fair, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of Buddha fair. To the Lama who possesses the three kayas, I offer altar, inner, and the sacred offerings. With my body, wealth, and all that is visible, please grant me the supreme realization and enlightenment. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostration, offering, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of enlightenment, all sentient beings, all these are dedicated. Om Guru Rina Mendala Panza Manga Samanda Savarana Samaye Ahom. Equal refuge, onome of the world, your fame provides the 3,000 words. You are Victor Varjadara with our door. I bow at the feet of Father Jiti Songo. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassion one grant your blessings. Dispel darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can realize the unlimited nature of the mind. Please turn the way of the Dharma of the two vehicles and the combination according to disposition and the likewise mental capacity of sentient beings. Long praise to the magician. His wisdom is brilliant like the sun, free of clouds over two worlds, and perceive the various steps of knowledge in the true nature. For the reason he holds the wisdom takes is his heart. He has a compassion for all beings who are suffering from the darkness of ignorance and the prison of samsara. As a father for only son, like a thunderclap, he awakens those who are sleeping in ignorance and losing the charm of karma. Through the 60 branch of Haramani speech, he wears wisdom saber to cast certain of suffering to despair of darkness or confusions. In the Bodhisattva form, he is pure from beginningless time, fully accomplished in the 10 levels of the perfect in the body of all knowledge. I supplicate you, Manjushri, adorned by 112 Buddha to dispel darkness of my ignorance. Om Arabazana de Om Arabazana de Om Arabazana de Om Arabazana de Om Arabazana. Om Arabazana de 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 Om. Wange Shoremo, 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 Wange Wange Shoremo, 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 Wange Shoremo. No Wange Shoremo, Wange Shoremo, Wange Shoremo, Wange Shoremo, Wange Shoremo. No Wange Shoremo, Wange Shoremo, Wange Shoremo, No Wange Shoremo. You who are the perfect youthful body, whose flame of wisdom blazes, and the despair darkness of worldly ignorance, are posted before you and pressed to Manjashiri. Yun Galen Changwa Bo Yishe Drome Rabde Baranje Ten Demo Mesar Wan Jang Bara Yang La Sanzer Do Dangge Doje Shaje Reisan Rong Shin Je Medo Neje Punjum Sirje Lambo Tabre Jibe Ge Shaje Jarbe Shala Ge Sanzer Tangge dorjen janjen de lo naro damar ba malai jije Gampopa ba mo juba jarwai di gong be kaju lama nam la zorwan de rome jije yenje vodang ne de zom sanje genje ngowo nye ransem jige ngozon donze Zawe lama nam la zorwan de Okay, so now I'm going to continue the teaching this with Zom Sangha, clarify the four dharmas of Gampopa. Four dharma Gampopa. First one is a grand blessing for mind to turn towards the Dharma. This four thoughts meditation all is into this category. Also, all the Telowadin, basic teaching, is into this first category, grand blessing for the mind to turn towards the Dharma. And then second is a grand blessing for the Dharma to go along the right path. So Mahayana teaching, love, compassion is all these teachings into this category, second one. So long as we have love, compassion, bodhicitta, then our Dharma to go along the right path. Today is this third one, grand blessing to dispel confusion along the path. So this section is wisdom teaching. It's included this section, this third sentence is also Buddha's or the philosophy teachings. So in this category, then we usually say like Buddha's teaching is not a religion, is philosophy, science, because in this case, is followed by for intellectual investigating using the logic to look into the truth, true nature. So that's why I talk about all these different religions. I already explained last week. So then in the Buddhist also four schools. Within four schools is the last, the last or the final, the goal is the Mayamika school. So then Mayamika we have a self-empty and other empty, two different traditions. Actually both are not different much. It's dependent, like Self-empty means like more investigating emptiness, proving emptiness. Even Buddha nature is emptiness. Yeah. So we talked about Rigpa nature, Buddha nature, and true nature. Whatever we mentioned, that also emptiness. So that's called self-emptiness. And then the no nothingness is clarity. So some philosophers only more focus for clarity aspects. It's called self-emptiness, no other emptiness. So that's why many master also bring these two lineages one together. So that's we already shared last weeks. Nor is here in summary all fourth goals of Buddhism. Fourth goal is Buddhism is the Satantrika and Vibhashika. So these two goals is Hinayana tradition, and then Mahayana has mind's goal, Chidamatrin, and then Mayamika. So Mahayana has two goals. And then Mayamika is become, philosophy is go to Vajrayana and Dzogchen, Mahamudra, all is part of Mayamika teaching. So Mayamika is more developing, like all the path stages. And the view, Dzogchen, Mahamudra don't have any other than Mayamika. It's the same view. Cannot have two different views because one truth, we cannot have two truths. And that's why Mayamika realizer, Dzogchen realizer, Mahamudra realizer is one. We can only one realize, like knowing the truth. So the Mayamika is more longer path reasons because intellectual section, study also take long time. So we have four goals of Buddhism. One in so far as they all teach that phenomena by nature are devoid of inherent self-existence. So they all talk about no one except actually self-permanent. Everyone talk about their by nature are devoid of inherent self-existence. So, however, the dependent origination of the absolute nature spoken over here is suchness itself. So then talk about origination of absolute nature is the suchness nature is like where in reality true nature state. Talk about true nature. So that's only Mayamika can explain or can go into that level, but other first three score no capacity to knowing this suchness nature itself. It's the subtle level of interdependence of the aggregates that serve as the basis of imputation. So in this one is like talk about the two difference, like interdependent means like gross level interdependent, very subtle level interdependent. Gross level interdependent when like depending each other, gross level interdependent. Then subtle level interdependent is goes to emptiness. So that's why in other here says okay. In other words, the establishing this as the basis of reasoning, we see that there is an automatic nature to be actualized. And this is the automatic subtle level of interdependence. Subtle level interdependence is emptiness. Because no independent, permanent, singular entity there. It's always dependent means like goes to then emptiness. So knowing interdependent and then knowing emptiness is the same. Usually with emptiness is hard to understand, but interdependent is better because nothing is like kind of something permanently exists there. Everything is dependent. So we know like, father and the son is interdependent. Mother and daughter also interdependent. No inherent permanently mother exists, no inherent father also exists, no inherent permanent son or daughter cannot be exist. It's always interdependent. Right and the left also interdependent. Long and the short also interdependent, see? So it's everything is interdependent means like just, change all the time. Otherwise, like if father is a permanent exist, then every single beings have to see the father, and no one exists in that like that in the world. Okay, and long something long, then you cannot have any longer than that. That's a long means. So also interdependent. Uh, the knowing that, then we know impermanent or emptiness. Interdependence. To understand this, first we needed to understand the interdependent or dependent causation. To understand dependent causation, we need to understand the interdependent of a cause and the effect. Then we know the like cause and effect. Also, interdependent. That's why we have a karma, cause and effect. This in here is I put a very short information. Nagarjuna debating with Satantarika and Vibhashika, like even the Buddhist schools. Lots about this cause and effect. There, Satantarika, Vibhashika thing, Nagarjuna is nihilism. The reason is Nagarjuna talk about all emptiness. Then these two schools, criticize Nagarjuna. You are nihilism, you don't know the Buddha's teaching. And the Buddha talk about the cause and the effect. If everything is emptiness, then where is the cause and the effect? So Nagarjuna said everything is interdependent. That's why we have a cause and the effect. If something you accept a permanent, cannot have a cause and the effect. Because the cause is a permanent, then cannot have a result. Cannot change it to rapid, result. Right? Result is a permanent, then always there. You cannot create. So interdependent, that's why we have a cause and effect. Simply put it to understand the subtle, we first start by understanding it on crude or gross level. So generally we have to know gross level, like right and the left, father and the son, what I mentioned. We have to know that gross level interdependent. In modern terminal knowledge, we needed to understand it on the material or physical science level, the psychological level, the level of chemistry and so forth. So all this, everything is interdependent. Factory, what we creating, right now have technology, or you see everything is interdependent. Someone can, like in this iPad example you are using, so many things in there is interdependent. And then we need internet, battery, all this is many things together. So it's interdependent. Then we need up, zone, all this interdependent. So we're gathering all together is also interdependent. That's what we have to know. Even in this field of science, the deterrent of interdependent origination is incorporated. All phenomena are completely subsumed within interdependent origination. So long as you know the interdependent, then you know actually truth. If you don't know interdependent, we know knowing the truth. Buddha's teaching. Long as we know interdependent, then we knowing the Buddha's teaching. If we don't know the interdependent, we don't know the truth of Buddha's teaching. Nagarjuna also homage to Buddha Shakyamuni. So he's talk about all who share this interdependence. And that is only Buddha Shakyamuni. That's why he said, homage to you. So many reasons. Then here, also it is for the reason that Maitreyanatha said, Buddha Maitreya said the abyss alankara. Without studying the 5 subjects of learning until becoming adept, even the supreme illusion one could not have become omniscient. So what I mentioned is this, Buddha Maitreya says, if you want to become omniscient wisdom Buddha, you have to study all these 5 different subjects. 5 different subjects. Okay, have to know that. Otherwise, you cannot become omniscient wisdom Buddha. Then this is like when long time ago, I really didn't understand what it means. Not easy to understand. So one day I found His Holiness teaching. He shared this one. So I really like it and I put it into here. What he said, like long as you know interdependence, you know already 5 subjects. So 5 subjects is different subjects. So you know that Tibetan has like 5 major subjects. And so just, like kind of anything, like in the long as you know interdependent, you know everything means everything included to that. So that's why out of these 5 subjects of learning, if we expand just the third of machinist or mechanical engineering, or the creature forms of today's terms can be subsumed within these fields. Because of this, we can see that in order to know Dharma exactly and perfectly, we need to use creature thinking and to analyze with the wisdom of discriminate to understand all the many different systems of the Buddhas and the non-Buddhism school of thought. So we have to know this like knowledge, and the philosophy Buddha's teaching is always knowledge, investigating. That's why also called science. And the goal toward this the main creature point or essence is interdependent. Long as you recognize interdependent, you can accept anything. Everything is possible. So that's why long as we have knowledge, you can create many things. Something never have happened before, something you can create because everything is possible. Reason is everything is interdependent, and everything is emptiness. That's why Nagasena say, who knowing emptiness, who accept emptiness, that person can accepting everything. That person can all is possible. Something who don't know emptiness, interdependent, then that person see everything is, like kind of not right, and something problems all the time. So that's Nagarjuna mentioned. Then, therefore, in order to avoid purifies and traps in our view and to gain creature understand of the range of subtle and gross meanings of selflessness, it's very helpful if we do not only know our own Buddhist philosophy, but all the philosophical tenets and viewpoints of non-Buddhist schools as well, both ancient and modern. So we have to know actually ancient time, non-Buddhist, this time, like other religion. If you knowing is good, And we study Buddhist philosophy, we have to go through all the different religions and study. And then you see like what, also comparing, using the logic investigating. And then you see what is right, what is wrong. So something, you using intellectual investigating logically against in the relative level, you cannot accept the relative level. Something, against the absolute true logically cannot approve, then that is absolutely you cannot accept. So that's why we have two truth, means relative truth and absolute truth. Relative truth, so it's like fire is hot. So we know that, and that's a relative truth. Absolute truth, fire is not exist, emptiness. So that is also, absolute truth. That's too true, like you can approving through logically, and then logically, relative logic approve is called relative truth. Absolute true logic, something found is called absolute truth. And the absolute true logic, actually, everything's interdependent. Nothing is we can find permanent, inherent something, true exist. So that's why everything's emptiness. Thus, for the sentient beings who are misled and who are ignorant of the different and the silent characteristic of philosophical system, this understanding, despair, confusions. So helps like, pure for confusions. That's the, always we talk about grand blessing to despair, confusion along the path. Confusion is because if you don't have enough knowledge and you get confusions with, these all different religions. And then inside the Buddhist also different schools, you get confusions. So if you learn all these interdependent teachings, then you understand all these different religion, and also inside the Buddhist fourth goal is the true or highest is like Mayamika. It's only can talk truth. Other is not reach to the top of the mountain highest point. Everyone gets some levels point, but not highest point. It's Mayamika only get the truth. So confusion along the path. We have to know all these religion systems. Helps, confusion along the path. Then the last one, grand blessing for the confused perception to arise as wisdom. So no grand blessing for the confusion perception to arise as wisdom. So this all is going into, the Mayamika result. Approved is this fourth. This third is all is intellectual investigating philosophy. Then result is in this fourth. So the fourth is become Mahamudra Dzogchen, or is followed by in this fourth Dharma Gampopa. That's same. As expressed in this line above, the pro-model nature of mind is empty. So that means like self-empty means all pro-model mind is empty. Essence of clear light, who talk about more clear light, and then that's called other empty. But reality, both are just go to in different aspects. One self-empty, more prophesize, or like how to say, more explain, is this empty essence. Then other empty is more explain is clear light. So mind in the nature itself is a Dharmakaya. And the meaning of Dharmakaya is that pro-modally knowing, the union of luminosity and emptiness. That pro-modal knowing the luminosity emptiness that is no other than this momentary thought. So no, it's introducing, introducing the true nature. Here is so we, in the also one of the Dzogchen teaching, Garab Dorje's 3 words of Garab Dorje. First one is facing to Rigpa. Rigpa is introducing Rigpa directly. So that is in this exactly same meaning. So what means, like, see, we talk about the Dharmakaya, we talk about the Buddha nature, we talk about the Rigpa, we talk about all, emptiness, awareness, clear light. This all is like right now have to look to in this present moment mind. Okay, so that's why here says, see, knowing the luminosity emptiness, there is no other than the momentary thought. So momentary thoughts means like just this moment mind, momentary thoughts. There is no such pro-model knowing. So if we take all these momentary thoughts, then you cannot find suchness nature, true nature. So someone like say, okay, extremely thirsty, and never know ice is water, okay? Someone give ice, okay? This is, someone say, I need water, so someone give ice below. So that person said, no, I don't want ice, this, I need water, But actually, you cannot have, ice itself is water. You cannot have other than ice than water, right? Do you understand? So Dharmakaya is the same as water, okay? Our momentary thoughts is the same as ice below. And so then there's ice below itself is water. So you cannot find water other than that, ice below. And we cannot find in this momentary thoughts other than Dharmakaya. So point is when we practice meditate, we have to recognize this momentary, that mind itself is emptiness, is clarity. If you looking to another something other than that, then we cannot find anything. Do you understand? So that's why in this ordinary mind, that it itself have to recognize is Buddha nature. So we cannot look to any other than that. And then this ordinary mind itself is called Yedam deity too. And ordinary mind itself is you knowing, itself is Dharmakaya, then is called enlightening. It not knowing is called samsara, delusion. So that's why King the Zampo prayer also mentioned, recognize or unrecognize. You recognize is Buddha, not recognize is samsara, ordinary being. So we found any outside of other than this momentary thought itself. Wisdom, or rather Dharmakaya, is not apart from this. You cannot have anything other than this. So this itself means this ordinary mind itself, the clear awareness of the present moment, is the true face of relative truth, phenomena. Clear awareness of a present moment is the true face of the relative truth phenomena. Without deterring this, if you know its nature, this itself is automatic truth. So we talk about the true truth. True truth also in this momentary mind. Your mind is present being that's, knowing everything clearly, is called relative truth. And then your mind itself is emptiness, you seeing, that is called absolute truth. So true truth also best on in this right now is present moment mind. Then, just as expressed in the above verses, from the Mahayana Sutra Alankara, onome of the Mahayana. Mahayana, when a positive or negative thoughts or emotion arises, if we do not look deeper into it and instead simply get caught up in it, display this accrues karma, becoming cause of samsara. So when thoughts, afflictive emotions rising, and not knowing that, I mean, like we're not investigating, not knowing that, then the thoughts, emotion caught up us, create the causes of samsara, create karma. However, when we examine the thought or emotion, so using the analytical, examine thoughts, emotions, look into the essence of the thought, it naturally ceases in its own nature and never truly existed. So this, explain is like, right now here it says like when thoughts, emotion rising, we have to recognize. If you don't recognize, don't investigating thoughts, emotions, just thoughts, emotion going to coact us, control us, and then we create a karma. So thoughts, emotion rising, you recognize and investigate the thoughts, emotions. Thoughts, emotion, it itself is emptiness. Truly no exist. And then thoughts, emotion release itself. So that's the, recognize this cause, then create a nirvana, means liberation. That is awakening to promote or knowing Dharmakaya. The nature of one's own mind is extremely difficult to realize. It is beyond the framework of an ordinary person's intellect of conceptual mind. In the Uttara Tandara, it is a state. So it's the the nature is very hard to know. Nature mind is very hard to know. The reason we see here says extremely difficult to realize. And it's beyond the framework, means like not object of the delusion, not object of the conceptual level. So that's why it's very hard to know of ordinary person intellectually of conceptual mind. Conceptual mind cannot knowing this truth. So that's why it's hard to know. But it's also very simple, another level, but very hard, two different things going on there. That's why also teachers cannot explain. Because when you explain, talking about this conceptual mind, cannot explain this truth, right? And you also, when you receive teaching, your mind is a conceptual mind, is not really into that experience. So in the Uttara Tantara, it's also state, since it is to subtle, it cannot be object heard and so forth. You cannot heard by words, cannot show, and cannot explain, cannot put in the words. So since it is automatic truth, cannot be thought about. Since the dharmata is performed in ordinary worldly level, meditation and so forth, cannot objectively eat. Objective eat. Okay, your mind. So the point is, we cannot have this, conceptual levels found this truth. And so only through, your practice, meditate and knowing it itself. Knowing it itself, not recognize it itself. So recognize it itself is no subject and object. So you can feel that, you can have experience that. That time then you in the true nature. Long as you have a subject and object, then not in the true state. Mind itself is you are into that, then it is self states, no create a subject and object. So that is called the true nature. Since it is so incredible subtle, it's incredible subtle is because it's, beyond the conceptual thought. That's why it's incredible subtle. When we meditate, we always create a subject and object. Thought is there, even you think I'm meditating, but it's until you reach some levels, it's always have created subject and object. And then some area you reach the point is like gone subject and object. You feel this is like you are in the space, okay? Then no clouds in the exist. So mind itself, present, color, awareness, free from all these conceptuals. Then you have experienced this true nature. Until that is, then we don't reach to that, the true state. So cannot hear about it as the topic of ordinary worldly discourse. Since it is autonomic true, it is beyond being the subject of ordinary worldly contemplation. Since Dharmata is extremely profound, it cannot be object of meditation, of ordinary worldly meditation. On this topic, Mahasiddha Telopa said, Telopa, I have nothing to show. If you just see yourself, you will be free. Saying this, Telopa simply whacked Naropa on the head. Care for your head, okay? Put homage. when very wrath for teachings, sharing with you, Mahamudra, please put homage. Okay. It's not that the autonomic truth is something there that he was unable to show, but rather that the very nature of it is something that cannot be shown. So that's the important, okay, cannot show. You can show something, then no truth. Truth cannot show. Recognize, yeah, understand, yes? Because it is beyond language, beyond word, and beyond metaphor or symbol. In this praise to the mother of the Buddhas, mother of Buddhas. That's Panchaparimita. When we say Nasam Jumi, is all beyond articulation, beyond thought, beyond expression. So that's called Panchaparimita. Is Panchaparimita is the same as like Dharmakaya. Beyond expression. We are not saying there is something there that can be articulated, thought of or expressed, and that we simply lack the ability to do so. But rather that this nature itself, beyond word, thought, and expression, although such nature is beyond the conceptual mind of ordinary worldly people like us, during the path of accumulation, we can focus on this, focus on listening to the teachings. So now, this is called accumulation path. Right now we are in the accumulation path. In accumulation path, you can listening to this teaching. Engaging path, you can feel yourself something, even you never reach that, but your imagination. That's why we have talked about 5 parts. First is called accumulation part. Accumulation part is create accumulation, listening, study, contemplating. Okay, so that's called accumulation part. The engaging part is you even know you get there, but you imagination, you feel that. So if someone show you the city's map, and then even you not get in the city, but you understand like city, you know the map or something, you know so big, how many population there, something like you through your knowing imagination. It's called engaging part. Then seeing part is you really get in that city. That's something like you arrive, like you have experience. It's called seeing part. But you still don't have a familiarity. And then that's called meditation part. And then 100% you know already familiarity is called accomplishing part. So enlightenment. That's what I call 5 part. So first here is meditation. Dharmata, once we achieve some degree, meditate. Where is it? The nature itself is during the part. We invention that the nature in our meditation on the essence of Dharmata. Once we achieve some degree of meditative stability, after the path of seeing. I see. So here see we already talked about the first accumulation part. Then listening to the teaching and contemplating the subtle nature. Then during the part of approach is the engaging part. We envision this nature in our meditation on the essence of Dharma Dharma. Once then this seeing part is once achieve some degree of meditative stability, after that comes the part of seeing. On the part of seeing, the first premise of Bodhisattva, the glimpse into the absolute true nature of Dharmata, is compared in the Uttaratantra to a newborn baby seeing the sun for the first time. So, this right now what I'm sharing is here is like path is followed by Maya Minka tradition, yeah? Maya Minka tradition, so we talk about the listening, teaching, knowing, investigating, accumulation part. You practice meditate, so engaging is engaging part, and then you seeing, you true nature, you recognize, is seeing part, then more you have familiarity again is called meditation part. So this each stage, says like goes eons, very far away for enlightenment. eons, okay? So where you are right now? And then that's like you become like Bodha Shakyamuni went through that. Eons each stages. That's why Bodha Shakyamuni have so much accumulation merit and benefit for other beings. And nowadays, we have to go through these stages, but it's shortcut always. Shortcut, yeah. Then we don't have the same as Buddha Shakyamuni. Even you enlightenment, you don't have the same as like Buddha Shakyamuni's, accumulation benefit others, but you can become join into that citizenship. Buddha's like Mary is the same as ocean. Our Mary is like same as like cup of water. Then that cup of water is pouring into the ocean, become joint oneness. So that's the Buddha's aspiration. Then you really recognize what means Buddha Shakyamuni is all amazing. He created so much accumulation merit. So now you meditate 1 hour, you can go through all these stages within 1 hour. That's why Jigin Sunggu has a 5-part Mahamudra, is bring to all these stages one section. One section you can perform in one section. Uh, so when we in the meditation, first you go to, of course how to meditate. That's all like your accumulation part. And then you into meditate, you go through many hardship, so much thoughts, challenge you have. Yeah. And you want to also out of meditation. Your mind is not into that because worldly thoughts rising, and these thoughts are more powerful. You want out of the cushion, you want to give up your meditation. So thoughts take you away from the meditation. That's the engaging part. You have to engaging, means like put effort in that state. And then you reach in the seeing part, you feel more comfortable, realize your mind is free from thoughts into that state. It's called seeing part. And then you may more stay in that. You can stay like 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, can go. You feel it's like comfortable, you don't want it to get out. So that's called meditation part, okay? And we can reach into this one section in this or in this, right now different stages what we're sharing here. So that's we have to follow. Otherwise, you go to Buddha Shakyamune's idea, I think we harder to enlightenment. Okay, because so much is all this worldly samsara desire conditions are so strong, and dharma, and our accumulation is not strong. Our effort is not strong. We don't have much patience. So that's the reason. Uh, we have to follow this Mayaming. I mean, Mayamika, the final, what he is sharing is we have to bring to one section together to practice meditate. And when you meditate, you go through these stages, then you happy. You recognize my meditation went good. After you meditate, you feel happy and joy, and you satisfy yourself. So then you want to meditate again, you want to practice. If you don't go through all these stages, like when you engage in part, like challenge states, you give up, then you never get into the seeing part. Okay, you don't get any good experience through meditation. So that's why when you meditate, just at least stay 1 hour when yourself, okay? We group meditate is you don't have a choice, 100%. We follow every people group together. But when you self, you meditate, stay 1 hour, you can reach in some levels point, good experience. So then you can go through all these stages. That's the, called one session, bring all this part together. So within our own experience, okay, within our own experience, not like talk about realization levels idea. Then on the part of seeing, then that's called auto tantra, says a newborn baby seeing the sun for the first time. The baby at that point can only see light and cannot recognize that he or she is seeing the sun. I don't know that. Do you have any idea this? When you see the sun first time? Not remember?
I think maybe for a baby, it's so amazing. They just overwhelmed by it. And then later they'll, that's a sun.
So anyway, this, the baby not knowing it is sun, but just seeing something like very light, powerful something, right? Okay, so only light in the cannot recognize it that she is seeing the sun. And the same way, illustrious beings in this beginning see a glimpse of the absolute nature. But at that point, it is still unclear. Uh, the people, you know, have this experience, beginning see a glimpse of the absolute nature. So many meditator has this experience, but you never get always, okay? Sometimes you feel that, but not always. So you cannot see signs always in the sky, like some days like clouds, you know, more thick clouds, and depending, right? Sometimes like you feel this, glimpse of the absolute nature. You have that, then you truly believe the teaching and the practice. So that's we need, but not always each meditation happen that. But at that point, it is still unclear. If they become convinced with this nature, they have glimpses, 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 they can dispel obscuration and bring about all the awakening quality without exception. Therefore, give rise to diligence. When meditating, even though the absolute nature is beyond signification and beyond words, it can be realized, for it is that nature of reality. This nature that cannot be described is always with you, connected to your own mind stream. It always be that nature is in fact. It has always already been the nature of your own mind. This undescribable nature is not worsened or degraded. Degraded when you are under the control of negative emotions. See, when you have love, compassion rising, your nature is not increasing, okay? Nature stays same. So when you have emotions, nature is not decreasing, but nature is still remains same. So that's the Buddha Shakyamuni mentioned. My nature and other beings' nature is the same. No difference. This indescribable nature is not improved or enhanced when the innate awakening qualities in your mind stream are unfolding, right? Unfolding, your realization is growing. Regarding this indescribable nature and meditation, as Saraha says, says there is not anything you are meditating on, but at the same time there is not the slightest wavering or deviation, because there is nowhere else for mind to wander. Without anything to meditate on, and without the slightest wandering, letting mind rest in its natural state without modification. This nature of mind is what we call Mahamudra. So Saraha explaining about Mahamudra. I think it's very nice, right? You think so? Yeah, he described the Mahamudra means. This is the section. Saraha is the king of Mahamudra teaching. So Saraha is also Nagarjuna's guru. So then he explained this Mahamudra here. So it's important is like here says, okay, so without anything to meditate on and without the slightest wandering, letting mind rest in its natural state without modification in this nature of mind is what we call Mahamudra. In this meditation, with mind being aware and not wandering, if you remain under the watchful eye of awareness, without contravence, this is how we will awaken the wisdom of meditation. As explained above, all of us sentient beings, even though the Dharmakaya has always been innately present as our own mind, do not recognize this. We are under the power of negative emotion as expressed in a sutra. All sentient beings are actually Buddha, but they are temporarily obscured by advantageous defilements. So the advantageous descriptions here are divided into two categories, as explained in the treatise, right? Mahayatasavagga or Wimthan Namji is one of the Nagarjuna's teaching, distinguishing the middle from the extremes. These are sure to be the obscuration of the negative emotions and the subtle obscuration to the omniscience. So we have these two obscurations. First one is called negative emotion, and the second is called subtle obscuration to the omniscient wisdom. And as long as we have first one, then we stuck in samsara. If you free from first, if you have this second obscuration, then you stuck with in the nirvana. And Shavaka, Pakika Buddha means they don't have this last one, omniscient wisdom. They don't purify yet that. So only the Buddha free from these two obscurations, to omniscience. Why you may ask, are the obscuration classed into two definitive categories? Why this we have two? The highest goal to be attained by person or individual, it is twofold, namely the attainment of supreme liberation from samsara and the attainment of omniscient Buddhahood. So this is two goals, like two results. And the first one obscuration to this, liberation. Second one is obscuration to the enlightenment. So long as we have afflictive emotion, then obscuration to the liberation. We cannot liberate, still stuck in samsara. Okay. Second, if long as we have this subtle obscuration to omniscience, then we cannot reach enlightenment. Even we are free from samsara, but still not enlightened. So that's the reason why we created two separate. Actually, both are we say obscuration. But why we have divided two? Reason is two different levels of liberation. Yeah, one liberation from samsara, one is enlightenment. So these two obscuration that's why it's mentioned separate. From samsara, it is a negative emotion born from the. So then, where did this come from? Okay, what it is? Okay, the order of these two attainment What is it that obscure our attainment of liberation from samsara? So which one is, obscuration to liberation from samsara? It is the negative emotion born from the grasping at I and mine. So where is this negative emotion sources? Self-grasping. It's rising from the I and mine. That obstruct us from liberation. In addition, what is it that obscuration, the second attainment, the attainment of omniscience? It is the ignorance of not actualizing the nature of a phenomena, not knowing the true, truth, nature. These two obscurations lead to the grasping at the self-nature of the person and the grasping at an inherent nature of external phenomena. So, under this grasping at the rareness of self and rareness of phenomena is released, the two obscurations are there. In the Mayaminka Rena Avali, middle way, treatise Mala of Jivar, it is explained. So this explain about, this true obscuration source, where this come from. Also this Nagazuna's teaching is, he says, as long as there is clinging to a body, like, Mara of form body, and then there is a self-clinging. If there is a self-clinging, then there is a karma. And from karma comes rebirth. So long as we have this afflictive emotion, negative afflictive emotion, then we take the birth. Negative afflictive emotion source is self-clinging. In this has been taught that as long as we have grasping at self, we will not be liberated from samsara. If you want to know whether the self-grasping can be released or not, you can find the answer through many scripture, verification, and through reasoning, as expressed in the text of Mayamika and Paramana. The teaching revealed the antidote to death as actualizing this by showing how to meditate and cultivate loving kindness, so forth, as well as antidote to completely uproot self-grasping through the wisdom that realizes selflessness. According to the Buddhist scripture, the difference between the three vehicles or yanas relates to the different approach to purify these two obscurations. So then talk about this afflictive emotion and the sources like self-grasping. So now this is the origination of suffering. So now we have we have to investigating. Reason is because anything possible to you can like get rid of self-grasping. So that's why Buddha's, this reasoning, examining, and investigating Buddha found is we can, uproot or like this, self-grasping is can release. And as long as you can have ability to, release self-grasping, then afflictive emotion, negative is naturally die. So that's why, other hand, Buddha share is path. Path is in loving kindness, compassion. So you apply this Dharma teaching, 6 paramitas, and or is, antidote to our afflictive emotions. And long as this Dharma, like we practicing path qualities into your mind, naturally decreasing, or other hand, negative emotions, release it. So that's the path. It's Buddha Shakyamuni. He practiced, he tested, he found, he reached the goal or like something. I mean, then after so many practitioner, meditator follow, so everyone have opportunity to release this negative emotions. So that's a good news. We have to live here today, good news part. We can reach enlightenment, okay? That's here completely, you can, how to say, the logically approving, reach enlightenment. Reach enlightenment, then through practice and meditate, already many beings achieve that state. So that's why that's liberation, enlightenment is always possible, okay? So anytime, any moment you can enlighten. We never know who's going to enlightenment first. Here we have a Zom Sangha and who are here, we don't know who's going to reach enlightenment first. Someone going to enlightenment any moment, okay? Tashi Delik to you guys. Thank you. And so I do here short dedication and then we're going to finish the teaching here. Continue tomorrow on this sections, teachings. So, okay, short dedication. Dorje Chang Delopa Naropa Marpa Malarepa Dharma Lot Gampopa Pamotropa Lot Digompa. Please be stopping us most auspicious abilities of Kaju Lamas. By this virtue may achieve nations, by defeating all enemies confusion. May all who traverse on the ways of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, the excellent, the precious mind, where is humble mass arising, where is the bomb mass not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray the Lama may have a good health. I pray the Lama may have a long life. I pray that your Dharma activity suffer far and wide. I pray that I may not be suffering from you. As Minji Shiri, the Vero realized automatically, and as did Samantha, but I will follow in the path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddha who attained the Tirikayas, by the blessing of the true of unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the indivisible Sangha order, may the merit I share bear fruit. By the virtue quality of the three times, by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the inner rule of virtue, and may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed perfect come to the enlightening, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Gampopa Rinpoche, whose emanation Lord of Dharma, Master of Interdependence, continue increase through study, practice, contemplation, meditation, unto the end of the samsara. Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Thank you, everyone. Tashi Delay. See you tomorrow on Zom Sangha. And have wonderful day. Oh, so you have received the Sangha here, okay? Tashi Delay Gadoma here. Lots, candles, many offerings. Okay, bye. They cannot talk.
拜
Thank you
Gampo，
very much.
陈老师，
非常上帝加持的雷，非常
不要动嘛。
非常的，
很上师，感恩翻译老师，
感恩师父
扎西德勒，拉玛七，明天见。
Bom dia.
Thank you，波切。
Adiós.
Thank you, obrigada.
Gracias, obrigados.
Gracias,
谢谢
Khenpo.
，Thank you, Shira translating.
星期
Thank
喽，
you，
感恩上师，
谢谢。
感恩上师，感恩翻译。
上师加持，
感恩发音。OK。
Bye, guys.
Bye.
再见，谢谢。
Hi, David.
Hello.
Hello。
All of you，拜拜。
Bye.
Bye. Bye from Puerto
Bye.
Rico. Bye.
Where David? We are in
Puerto Rico,
Ohio. Where
Khenpo.
are you?
No, no in Ohio, Puerto
Hello
Rico.
to Ohio here. Where are you going? You went to wrong directions.
I know.
Come back to home.
But the birds are flying south, Khenpo.
Okay.
We miss you, Khenpo.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye.
Bye, Debbie. Bye,
Bye.
Jason. Bye, everybody.
Bye.